In 1993, at the age of 19, I travelled to Guyana, South America. I went there to volunteer in a Mothers Union daycare centre as part of my gap year before going to university. I arranged it through people I knew at my church who had contacts with the Bishop of Guyana and his wife. This experience would be, at that stage of my life, an incredible challenge that took me way out of my comfort zone, sometimes into my panic zone, but mostly into my learning and change zone. The experience would become a chapter in my life that I would regularly use as a resource to find the courage to overcome personal challenges in my life. The goal and expectation were to go to Guyana for 4 months, volunteer, have an experience of a lifetime, return to England, and then move on by going to university. It didn't quite turn out that way. Instead, seeing an opportunity to make a difference and help the children of Guyana, I set up a fund to support the daycare centres with toys and money. For the next 2 years, I ran the fund in my spare time while at university. I returned to Guyana each summer to see the progress so that I could provide updates to the supporters back home in the UK. This was in a world before social media and emails. And to strengthen links between churches in the UK and churches in Guyana that were twinned. Throughout my first trip, I kept a daily diary, and I thought it would be nice to share my memories and experiences with you here. Monday, January the 25th, 1993, 10:39 a.m. UK time. What am I doing here? I'm sitting on a jumbo over a wing, seat 24K, waiting to fly to South America for 4 months. And all I know is that there's someone meeting me at the airport. I've got accommodation for the duration of my stay, and I've got an outing on Friday. I must be mad. Off my trolley, bananas. Michael Johnson, my priest, said in his sermon yesterday that getting there was only part of the journey. Oh God, I'm in for trouble. My parents took me to the airport this morning. We had a cooked breakfast at the terminal, hung around for an hour or so, and then I went through to boarding. In duty free, I bought a London t-shirt. Tacky, I know, but out there it'll be classy and a point of conversation. I'm now sitting in my seat writing this, obviously, after having spent 5 minutes looking for my pen. I've already had panic searches for my emergency credit card, boarding pass, sunglasses, and watch batteries. It'll be a miracle if I haven't lost something. The stewardesses have just given us all travel kits consisting of a pair of socks, an eye mask, and a toothbrush and toothpaste. Where am I supposed to put that? I was tempted to ask for 20 more to take with me as presents. It's now 10:50 a.m. and I want to go. I feel really silly sitting here in summer clothes when it's blizzards in Scotland and freezing out there. My eyes are welling up when I think of Ebony, one of my 2 black Labrador dogs. She looked really sad this morning. It's difficult because everyone else knows where I am, but you can't explain it to a dog, can you? I just want to give her a huge hug. Bess, Ebony's daughter, is less sensitive. She won't care. 12:55 a.m. UK time. We've been in the air nearly an hour. The takeoff was delayed for so long because they had to change the tyres, probably due to 2 rather large red bags, mine, full of toilet rolls. We hit turbulence a lot at about 20 to 30,000 feet, but came through it very quickly. Waiting for lunch and a film to start. I can't stand hearing about the trials and tribulations of the woman in front who's very posh. Okay, y'all? 6 p.m. Barbados time, 10 p.m. UK time. I'm in Trinidad, next stop Georgetown, Guyana. The last 2 hours have been the worst 2 hours of the last decade. Everything was going fine, I thought. Okay, so we were running an hour and a half late, but all I had to do was to board another plane in Barbados. Did I, heck? I decided to be mega efficient and just checked that my luggage automatically went onto the plane to Guyana, as I had been told at Gatwick. But this was where the problems began. Nobody knew, and nobody cared. Eventually, I found out that I had to collect my luggage, all 64.7 kilograms of it, take it through customs and check it in again. Okay, no probs. Except they didn't unload the BA plane for half an hour. By now it was 4:30 p.m. and I needed someone else to pick them up and carry them. This would cost $1. I only had a $50 note. So I had to change it, go back, wait for my luggage, get a porter to take it, go through customs, go out of the airport into the departures, book in, leave my luggage, go through security, board the plane and fly off. Simple. Except there was a queue at customs, the arrival and departure areas were 200 yards apart, and they'd stopped boarding. I was furious, so I kicked up a fuss. I'm good at that. Explained it wasn't my fault, but BA's because of the late departure. They were telling me it was up to BA to organise a hotel and reschedule a flight for me. I wasn't prepared to come this far and not get on the plane when I knew it was on the tarmac. Eventually, at 4:55 p.m, they let me go. The flight was due to leave at 5 p.m. I hobbled with cabin luggage, went to security, had to go through it 3 times because it kept pinging, and went to gate 15, which was a further 300 yards down the terminal. There was a man beckoning me on. He spurred me on, but only because I wanted to hit him. The BA rep helped me with my luggage. I got on the plane and got a shock. British West Indian Airways, BWI, affectionately known in Guyana as standing for But Will It Arrive, another airline, Leeward Islands Air Transport Services, LIAT, was affectionately known as Leave Island Any Time. There are only about 20 passengers and I'm sitting in the same row as Miss Guyana, the Miss World representative. The plane appears to be a Pan Am cast-off, probably didn't pass aviation tests. None of the seats are the same colour. You can't talk or think over the noise of the air conditioning. There are 2 hostesses and the pilot, who is visible at the end of the gangway because there's no cockpit door, and there's severe condensation on the windows. I am not convinced this thing is pressurised. You can hear the brakes screech as well, so on landing I am praying for them to screech to prove they work. As for refreshments, I'm not optimistic about it. There's no magazine, only a sick bag, being recycled by the look of it. As for the life jackets and oxygen masks, it's a mystery. There are also no overhead lockers capable of holding anything, so you need 2 seats, one for you, one for your hand luggage. I doubt they'll be duty-free or an in-flight movie either. At least Barbados was sunny and hot, so there's that to look forward to. I've just thought, if electricity is not constant in Guyana, how are they going to land this thing without runway lights? Oh my God. Day 2, Tuesday, 26th of January, 5:50 a.m. local time. 1:50 in the morning UK time. The last 24 hours have been interesting to say the least. I feel like I've jumped in at the deep end of a swimming pool and haven't started treading water yet. I hope I will soon. The family I'm staying with are very nice. A mother, widowed, and her 2 sons and a daughter. My room already has a mosquito net, but no sheets because of the heat. I haven't unpacked yet. Last night when I arrived, all I wanted to do was go to sleep. There was a woman to meet me at the airport as planned, and I assumed it was Mrs. George, leader of the Mothers' Union in Guyana and the bishop's wife, who I've been in written contact with to arrange this adventure. She had a boy with her, who I assumed was her son. It wasn't till today, when I met the real Mrs. George, that I realised it wasn't her who had met me. I was worried last night because the woman who met me had asked me my name and how long I was staying, and I thought surely Mrs. George knew after all our communication and planning. We're off to the real Mrs. George's tonight, the bishop's wife, but I'm knackered. My body clock is in England. I knew I forgot something. Today I went to the Mothers' Union annual general meeting, which has been taking place here yesterday and today. Mrs. Pat Harris, head of the Mothers' Union head office in London, and another woman from Norwich are attending as part of their regional tour of Mothers' Union branches. They're returning to England next week. I did a little speech introducing myself, and then they carried on with the meeting. I went to the bank first thing to get some cash. You can't buy Guyanese money at the travel agents back home. The exchange rate is good. $1 equals 127 Guyanese dollars. I don't think it'll make my money go any further, though. Prices seem reasonable, even cheap for us, but are high for the Guyanese. We all had lunch together, and then Mrs. Harris and I went on Guyana radio. Not quite the same as the BBC, to put it mildly. It was very basic and didn't flow at all because the girl had no background knowledge about us or why we were there. Good laugh, though. We then went to the tallest wooden building in the world, St George's Cathedral, where all the Mothers Union delegates were meeting for a tea and cake social gathering. All the parishes seem to want me to visit them while I'm here, which is great, although a bit overwhelming. But I'm looking forward to having places to visit at weekends when I'm not working. It also appears that there are 2 Mothers Union daycare centres here, not just one. The one I will be working in, that's been going for many years, and a new one that has been built but won't be able to take children straight away as it isn't furnished. That's being officially opened by Mrs. Pat Harris tomorrow, so that's something to look forward to. In the next blog article, I will share what happened when I went to the opening of the new daycare centre and visited the incredible Kai Falls.